Welcome back. You're watching Business Morning on Channels Television. Well, as I said earlier, we're looking at the MITO, trying to understand what this MITO is all about. And of course, at this time when a lot of Nigerians are complaining that they are not getting enough power supply, the rationale behind the recent increase in electricity tariff. And I'm being joined in the studio here by an entrepreneur who perhaps feels this pinch, Mr. Christian Tom West. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, and I also have Daniel Meller. He's a consultant in the power sector. Good morning.
Good morning.
And of course, I have the regulator on the other side in our Abuja studio, Dr. Sam Amadi. Good morning, Dr. Amadi.
Good morning.
Well, just before we start our conversation, let's just listen to this report put together by our correspondent.
June 1st is the date the National Electricity Regulatory Commission chose to announce a tariff review in electricity in accordance with the law. This is coming at a time the country is grappling with supplying uninterrupted electricity to its teeming population. Part of the reason for this is a shortfall in the energy supplied to the DISCO, which in turn forced down retail prices. As part of the reform strategy that handed power utilities to private owners, a regulation called the Multi-Year Tariff Order, MITO, was formulated, and that contains a review of tariff to be done every 6 months. So in line with that, a review has been done, which has seen increase in areas like Benin, but that will not affect Lagos consumers. The head communication strategy of Ikeja Distribution, Mr. Kwekun Adeyanju, says that over the next few weeks, a more reliable prepaid meters will be rolled out to consumers.
Well, we do empathize with public, and in fact we empathize with ourselves as well, because we are selling a product that we don't really have much control over. So I'll be able to tell you that our need, our requirement to be able to meet our customers 24/7, we need about 930 megawatts. But as I'm speaking to you, the average you have gotten between November and now is about 400 megawatts. So, I mean, that shortfall, there's no way our customers will not feel the impact, the negative impact of that. But what we're trying to do on our own is to ensure that the little we get are equitably distributed.
It's a mixed reaction at the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, as a cross-section of consumers either agreed or disagreed with the move.
They believe if the tariff is being increased, it will help them to buckle up to do the work functionally. That's why they're doing that.
We are in a country where you spend for what is not commensurate with what you get. The tariff, the planned increase is very, very uncalled for. Nigerians should resist it because nothing has really changed.
The NERC chairman, Dr. Sam Amadi, had in a statement said the new tariff would not be equally served to consumers nationwide, as some parts of the country would have reduced tariff, while others will have theirs increased according to the costs incurred by the electricity distribution company in their locality.
Well, we'll move now to the conversation. I would like to start with you, Mr. Tom West. You are an entrepreneur. I mean, what are your concerns in all of this?
First of all, from our point of view, this increase is actually uncalled for because the power supply has not even improved. And it's unfortunate that in Nigeria, we always look at the point of increase of money, always increasing the tariff before making sure that we have stable power. Now, because Nigerians will be willing to pay for power if it is stable. Over the years, and in fact, this is so bad, over the years, we've gotten to the point where they have increased tariffs so many times, and the consumers always bear the brunt. Until today, we are not even assured of even 6 hours of constant electricity. So I asked myself, what then is the rationale behind increasing it again when we have not seen any noticeable difference in the in electricity supply. So this is our fear, that this is also going to give us more problems, because I'm also of the opinion that they will still do this again in the near future.
Right. Okay. Fortunately, we have the regulator with us on the other side. Dr. Oh, well, I meant to understand that we've lost the signal there to get Dr. Madi. But in the meantime, Mr. Mela, you are an expert in this area, and you've been consulting in this industry for quite some time. Now, do you think hiking the tariff at this time is fair on the consumers?
We have to put it in context. What really happened?
Right.
These tariffs were set in 2012. A 5-year tariff plan was put in place. And the regulator's been quite transparent about where rates should go. And in fact, what should have happened, if you follow that 5-year plan, fixed charges were supposed to increase on June 1st by about 42% on average across the country. That is what investors bought into when they bought these power companies in the privatization. They expected to see rates increase. And what the regulator did on June 1st was actually keep fixed charges level. They did not allow that 42% increase. They did allow increases on the variable side because they want to make sure we're all striving to deliver more power. And so distribution companies, generating companies will make more money provided the power is there. But the regulator actually tried to keep tariffs in check. They understand the plight of the consumer, and they tried to balance all the different stakeholders.
Right. But we know we have the issue of gas supply, and that exactly has not been resolved. And do you think that would have, I mean, as it is now, that should, the step they have taken in increasing that tariff, shouldn't it have really been the investors, the regulators, getting it right first?
It's a challenge. The investors were promised things by the government, especially on the generation side. So on the generation side, investors were promised that they will be paid capacity charge, even if there's a gas shortage, even if there's a transmission shortage. But as an industry and as a country, who is going to pay for that capacity charge if the energy is not forthcoming? And that's the challenge that we have. Consumers, you can understand, will not want to pay for power not supplied. The distribution companies will not want to pay for power not supplied. So we're all in this battle of how do we pay for these promises that have been made to the investors. And the solution is first and foremost, get the gas to these power plants. We have far more capacity than most people even want to admit. We have over 13,000 megawatts. If you really tabulate the major power plants that we have, that's our capacity. But we're only generating maybe 3,500, 4,000 on a good day.
Right. Now, Mr. Tom West, which area of Lagos do you stay, and how much were you paying, and how much are you paying now?
Well, I stay in Lekki Phase 1. And where I stay, you see, there are two variables to it. In Lekki Phase 1, even though it's a hybrid area, normally I have a prepaid meter, and that's the beauty of it. Now, with the prepaid meter, I consume exactly what I have, because most times there has never been power supply. And now, that means in a month before, I used to pay maybe 10,000 naira. But now that they've started, and I've already just got and bought power, bought some tokens just to recharge, I've noticed that before the end of this month, I'm going to be spending nothing less than 25,000 on power. Now, for me, it's okay because I have a prepaid meter. But from what Daniel said earlier, a lot of Nigerians are paying for power that they do not see. A lot. In fact, let's say almost 70%, because one, they are on estimated billing. They don't have meters. They don't have sufficient capacity. So they are just paying for so many things that they are not getting value for. Let me also give you an example that I also saw in Lekki. Because I have a prepaid meter, I have 10,000 naira I pay in a month, which is okay. But I found out also that there are people in that same Lekki Phase 1 who don't have prepaid meters, but who they are being charged 35,000, 40,000 on a monthly basis. To me, that is rip-off. That is a first-class rip-off. And not only in Lekki Phase 1, it goes on all over, everywhere in Nigeria. Because it pays them, the way it is now, it pays them to be doing this estimated billing. It pays them that way. Because normally the business model should be that let everybody have a meter. If everybody has a meter, then they will be able to extrapolate that, okay, if we give supply to this area, this is exactly how much we can make from this place in a month.
But have these consumers also tried to get their own prepaid meters? Because some of the consumers would actually want, okay, I don't want to have a meter, and they go stealing the power.
Well, that is also a problem. But if the meters are made available, there is a situation that could be handled, in which case they could make the meters available to the consumers. A lot of people could be tenants. If you're a tenant, you would not really want to buy a meter, because at any point in time you could leave the house. So it presupposes that it's supposed to be the landlord or the owner of the house that should buy the meters. That is exactly what should happen. And I think whoever is in charge of the meters should make it affordable. In fact, the other day, the people who are called MCON, as a meter manufacturing company along this expressway, they were lamenting that they have so much capacity for meters, but nobody's taking the meters. And I'm surprised. And it's not supposed to be like that. Because ideally, the consumers are suffering for this. And I also believe that if care is not taken, in the long run, what this should be is that when all the power plants come on stream, the price is supposed to come down. And I would like to ask the regulator if it is possible that in the long run, if those prices will come down. I doubt it. I seriously doubt it.
All right. Interestingly, the regulator is ready now to join us. Good morning, Dr. Amadi.